All right, Foodie Jules here. Simple recipe for y'all. Literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ingredients. I guess 7 if you count the cooking oil. But today I am making, Filipino style adobo. If you grew up in a Filipino household, Filipino American household, Filipino Canadian Australian household, you've probably had this dish before. Very simple to prep. And so basically what I'm doing right now is I'm making a marinade, basically of garlic, a lot of garlic. This is like 18 to 20 cloves, half a cup of soy sauce, and I'm gonna, marinate using those 2 ingredients, this pork shoulder that I have, nicely marbled, I have to say, by the way. We're gonna do this for about at least a minimum of an hour. I'm probably gonna do it the equivalent of an overnight time, so several hours, 8 to 9. And then I'm gonna actually cook the adobo. You basically are gonna braise this thing with some peppercorn and bay leaf, and then you're gonna finish with a little vinegar for acidity at the end. And yeah, let's go ahead and combine these ingredients to make the marinade. All right, so adobo is one of those things, every family has their own variation of it. Really the key about adobo is the ratio. Ideally, everyone has their preferences. You want to have the right balance, and right is very subjective, of garlic, soy sauce, and vinegar. I like heavy garlic. I do like, the adobo I was raised with is not as vinegar forward as a lot of households. I think that's because my dad doesn't like to add a lot of vinegar to his, his adobo to make it super sour. But right now, yeah, I'm just making, the marinade. You want to marinate in the soy sauce and the garlic, not the vinegar or the aromatics, your peppercorn or bay leaf. So I'm just gonna pour in. I got my half a cup of soy sauce. I think one key fact, if you can find this brand of soy sauce, this Silver Swan brand, use it. This is like typically what and I think my family has always used in adobo. Don't use like kikkoman if you go to like an American or Canadian grocery store. Do use the Silver Swan if you can find it. You can usually find it at Filipino grocers, Vietnamese, Chinese grocers. It kinda is like, I think it's like almost like a dark soy sauce, but it's not as thick for sure. I can't really put my finger on it, but it has a very distinctive flavor profile compared to other soy sauces. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my half cup of soy sauce. I wish I had some gloves, but I'm just gonna mix it. Actually, I do have some tongs, so I'm gonna go ahead and mix this pork into the soy sauce and garlic. You just wanna make sure that everything is well coated in the soy sauce and the garlic. Everything is well distributed. I'm gonna probably put some cling wrap over this, stick it in the fridge, and yeah, I'll marinate this for a while and then I'll get to the next steps. Cheers, y'all. All right, she's nicely wrapped and ready to go in the fridge. This is gonna set for an hour, and not an hour, at least an hour, probably for more realistically for me, 5 to 6, 7 hours. And yeah, we're gonna get to the braising stage later. All right, Foodie Jules, it's cooking time. It's been more than 12 hours. This pork has been sitting in the soy sauce. It kind of looks oddly like ahi poke in a weird way, but not exactly. But what we're gonna do now basically is, we're gonna fry our meat, or brown our meat. Not exactly brown, but we basically just wanna, kind of cook this meat in the pot without the sauce. Basically, we're kind of browning it, but not really charring it. And then we're gonna add the sauce back in, cover it with water, and then we're gonna braise it for a bit, and then finish with vinegar. But right now, I'm gonna go ahead and add my pork. I'll just wait for my pot to heat up, so I put a little bit of neutral cooking oil inside. I'm gonna hit the ventilation on. Alright, let's see if she's hot. She is hot. What we're going to do here is just get a little color on the meat. This isn't really cooking it fully through, but we just want to get a little bit of, I think, yeah, you're right. I was right to say a little bit of browning action here. Alright, I'm going to do this in batches just to make sure that we get even browning, and then once everything is browned, I'm going to add everything back in the pot with all the marinade. Alright, we finished browning the meat. I basically added all the brown pieces into the pan. I cooked this in 2 batches. What I'm going to do now is add the rest of our marinade and all the garlic into the mix. Make sure to get all those garlic bits, because that is what you want in your adobo. All 18 cloves of garlic. If you don't like garlic, you are not going to like adobo. But if you love garlic, you surely will love this dish. Next, we got to add our aromatics. So a little bit of bay leaf, and about a tablespoon of black pepper. I'm going to eyeball the pepper. I think that's more or less a tablespoon. Then with the bay leaves, probably add a couple of these. Actually, let's add 3. Now we're just going to cover this with water. We're going to braise this, and at the end we're going to finish with some vinegar, which is going to give adobo that signature sour finish. I'm not going to add a lot of vinegar because I don't really like it super sour forward. It's really the taste. I'm gonna do it my dad's way. But yeah, I'll show you this result after I finish braising this guy. Alright, key detail. You have to bring this guy to a boil. There's gonna be a bunch of scum that comes out. Make sure to get that scum out of the pot. You don't want that in your adobo. This has come to a boil. I'm basically gonna bring this down to a simmer, and we're gonna simmer this for about 45 minutes to an hour. About medium heat, and I'm going to remove this scum. Foodie Jules here. This adobo has been boiling for about 40 minutes. It's still pretty watery, so I'm going to let this kind of reduce a little bit more, and then I'm going to finish with the vinegar. And yeah, I'll show you what it looks like before I add the vinegar. Alright, Foodie Jules here. I let this guy boil a little bit more. So total boil time is probably about an hour, give or take, maybe 55 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and add my vinegar. I kind of changed my mind. I have this spice chili vinegar, Filipino vinegar, that I'm going to go ahead and put in. I cut the vinegar for here. Some people like more. I don't like that much. But this is what gives adobo its distinctive flavor. This is 2 tablespoons of vinegar. We're going to just throw that right in. Like so. And then we're going to let this cook for another 15 minutes, and then it'll be basically ready to go. Alright, Foodie Jules here. This is the finished product. You got a nice, beautiful pot of adobo. Now, the perfect way to eat this is with the rice. I'm not going to, picture it here, but, jasmine rice pairs perfectly with this. Save a little bit of that sauce for your rice, and make sure you store it in the fridge for, this keeps in the fridge pretty well. Like I think because of the vinegar content and the acidity, the flavor honestly just gets better with time. And if you want to use any leftovers, you want to make a dry adobo, basically just take this, cook it down, and it comes out delicious. And you know, if you cook a dry adobo, reduce the sauce, kind of get some crispy bits on it, it's perfect drinking food. And yeah, this is Foodie Jules with my adobo recipe. And yeah, signing out. Cheers.